it went down like $11 kicked in. Right. Here, if we 1 second, we might actually have. I don't know if Alan's going to be here or not. I don't know about Iceland this year. You had like oh my God, Adam.
Say something. Let me see if I can pick you up. Yeah, just say something. I want to see if this picks you up. Okay. It dropped down after I think I was thinking for time.
And that's what I figured.
And we have the demographic study done in 19. Where they told us to buy this, and they use our line. It's by the 10. Okay, I'm here. You know, it's a family down throughout. Well, we are
And that's what I thought it was, but I wasn't sure.
That's where it messed up. As a reminder, the guidelines to our community listening sessions were sent to everyone who registered to speak tonight. They can also be found in our administrative guidelines under AG 9120F. Our speakers all registered earlier this weekend to speak to this session. Please wait to be recognized and preference your comments with your name. Based on the number of speakers that we have signed up for tonight, we have 3 minutes to speak each. Please pay attention to the timer over here in order to make sure we get on everybody that wanted to speak tonight. All statements will be directed to the chair. We ask that you don't address questions to board members individually. And speakers, please don't expect a response this evening from board or from administration. There may be follow-up depending on what the issue is. You can comment on anything that's listed on the agenda or other topics as you noted on your registration form. And speakers, you may address the board once during each session. Thank you very much for being here. The sound in here is not ideal, so please be as quiet as you can so that everyone has an opportunity to hear. All right, we'll start with our first speaker, Betty Dosenet. You can sit or stand, whatever you think to do.
I'll just stay right here now, that.
Love that. Please state your name.
I have attended the new
State your
listening.
name.
Oh, Betty Dawson. I have attended the new listening sessions, stranger names called, comments made. After the first session, when they asked why there were no microphones, you all stated the room isn't equipped for it. You are the ones who picked the location for the meetings, and I'm quite sure you were aware that it was not equipped. There's no need for an elaborate set. 2 battery-operated mics and a speaker are all you need. It is hard for me to believe that throughout all of the Lakota School District, these are not available. I would suggest that by the next meeting, you have a microphone system set up. If not, it gives one the impression you really don't want to hear our voices heard. It was also my understanding that a synopsis of comments made in listening session would begin during the official board meeting. I don't know if that's correct or not, that was my understanding. I am not aware that this has been done. If not, I request that you do so. It is only the only way that people watching the school board video will know what is on the minds of parents and community members. The last board meeting got out of hand was just not unusual, but I feel that Mrs. Casper owes Mrs. Bovee an apology for the language she used. I know that Mrs. Bovee was out of order, but honestly, I don't blame her. She has tried to get some support or at least recognition for her ideas and has been literally ignored. There was an audit conducted recently by the Ohio Department of Education, SECSED 2022, to see if the school districts were compliant with Ohio Revised Code 3313.6011, which is a list of school and district requirements. In reviewing the audit, schools were listed in various categories in accordance to their compliance with the code. For instance, number 1 was a list of schools who were in compliance with the law completely, abstinence emphasized. I was shocked to see that the Lakota School District came under number 5. Schools with inadequate information. The following districts did not get enough information, claiming they taught students with internally created or vaguely referenced material, but without details of a clearly stated absence-only focus. That was for last year. Lakota has until August the 1st to complete the form for this year. Since I was unaware and the majority of parents were unaware, I have no confidence that Lakota has met the requirements of the Department of Education on sex education. just what are we teaching in regards to sex education, and why have you not given detailed information to the Department of Education? There is a constant lack of transparency.
Thank you, ma'am. Christy Ertl is not here this evening. Charis Peterson?
My name is Charis Peterson. Practically I have to shout because we don't have mics, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. First of all, I want to express my support for School Board Member Darby Bodie, and I admire her fearlessness in attempting to bring the board back to sanity. Her motion concerning the girls' bathroom issue should have been seconded, and I thought the way it was handled was very poorly done. Obviously, girls' privacy should not be compromised, and easy solutions can be found for those who are the minority, not the one-to-one basis. It's rather obvious, going on to another subject, about the mics, that you are making it so that we're not able to be heard. And if somebody takes the time to tape, it's still not going to be heard on whenever they put it up, post it up. Then also, I heard that the Elgin card has moved on, which means this is a perfect opportunity to disband the DEI department, DEI. It should be definitely disbanded. It's linked to SEL, Whole Child Program, which is a disaster. Equity is equal outcome, and that is a fool's errand since it will never work. It's actual communism bringing everyone down to a certain level. Equality of opportunity should be the goal, the start of the opportunity at the beginning, not at the end. The report card on this Department of Ed website has data over a 3-year period that shows significant evidence that Lakota fell short of student growth expectations. Maybe if the administration concentrated more on academics, this wouldn't be happening. In considering transparency of curriculum, there must be some other solution to the idea of each board member choosing a person to audit the curriculum. Of course, they will be of the same mindset as the board member, and no different than having the board member do the job. There's got to be some other solution. And then, since 1999, Ben covered this, so I don't probably need to cover that at all, about the sexual education, which we should be sending them more information on. They didn't get enough information. It said that you use local materials, but what are they? I'd like to know about that. And one more thing too, we gave you a resolution, we made up a resolution, I guess, it was about surveys, feeling that students should not have a survey unless they get their parents' permission. So they should not actually be taking any form of a survey, either verbal, oral, acted out, or one-on-one, even like a teacher and student, to answer unless the survey itself in its entirety, specified by the teacher, has been sent a week prior to the scheduled event to the parents of each student who has been selected to answer it. And the parents have signed a disclaimer form stating that they agree and will allow their child or children to take the survey. I don't know where to find information on surveys that you give out.
Thank you, Mrs. Peterson. Ms. Argo?
I'm Liz Argo, and I'm the Cherokee PTA president. As president, I've devoted my time for both the students and the staff. Thank you at the last meeting for clarification on Cherokee's enrollment. The information presented may make it seem like we meet the standards, but there are more factors parents would like you to take into consideration. It was stated that 31 of 33 classrooms are being used by general education teachers. However, those 2 additional classrooms are crammed and overflowing, spilling over to the stage with reading, title, ESL, and intervention specialists. The staff have worked miracles to make the situation work, but it is still very uncomfortable for all. We recognize we have enough rooms for our current general ed classes, and the new portables will start to alleviate some of those space issues, but it doesn't solve all the overcrowding problems. One of the main issues is our shared spaces. I invite all of you to come to our cafeteria during our lunch hours with students. We are bursting at the seams. With all the students seated at lunch tables, we are getting very close to the fire code capacity. Did you know The only way to get to our playground and 2 of our specialist classes is by walking through the cafeteria. It gets very congested switching lunches and recess. It is a safety situation to happen. If a safety situation were to happen at the switching time, it would be a major safety concern. Also, I can't even imagine what lunch would look like if we had at least 2 more sections. Lunch would have to start at 10:30 and end at 2, just in time for the students to leave by 3. Our overcrowding leaves Cherokee at a loss of space to accommodate students that have individual requirements for testing. They have to get very creative to find testing spaces and have enough staff members to cover all of those testing places. There really isn't an open spot anywhere. With the lack of space, it is extending our testing time frame compared to other elementary schools. The last few years, there has been a push about the importance of our students' mental health. At Cherokee, our counselor works very hard to keep up with all the need and demand, but his backlog is over 100 students waiting to see him. Bringing in Mind Peace and Children's for services has helped slightly, but it is a paid service that is not feasible for all. They too have a backlog of students waiting for services. The American School Counselors Association recommends that there be a ratio of 1 counselor to every 250 students. Cherokee would need at least 3. I know most of our schools in the district also aren't even close to meeting that recommendation, and our students are suffering. If we can't bring in more school counselors, hiring a mental health aide, or even a 504 coordinator would help to lighten the loads of all of our school counselors. Thank you for your time.
Alicia Temeswell.
Hi, I'm Alicia Temeswell. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight and for all you do for our kids. I'm here to follow up on the high-level stats regarding Cherokee Elementary from the April 17th meeting. Cherokee is the 3rd largest school in the district and growing. Last year's enrollment was under 800. This year there are over 800 students. This is also above the projected numbers from the master facility plan developed in 2022. Within the Lakota School District, the next highest elementary school enrollment is 15% less. This is over 100 more kids. That is equivalent to an extra class in each grade. This is why I am asking you to dig deeper and look at custodians, child nutrition, guidance counselors, nurses, and office staff at Cherokee. Are these staff numbers equivalent across the elementary schools? The staff numbers should be based on the number of students instead of the size and square footage of the facility, since there is such an imbalance in enrollment. Surely, the amount of work needed at a school with 800 students is not the same as a school with 600 students. The other imbalance I'd like to point out is in the special classes. There are 6 specials at all elementary schools: art, tech, gym, SEL, music, and STEAM. 3 specials are rotated through the elementary schools every quarter. Special class teachers can accommodate 9 to 10 classes per day, and Cherokee's 31 sections aren't able to have the typical 3-day rotation. Therefore, a super special class was created to make a 4-day rotation. Every quarter, Cherokee students have this super special class, and the super special does not rotate to Van Gordon, Independence, Endeavor, Adina, or Woodland. Because of the 4-day rotation, Cherokee students get 100 days of super special class and 90 days of the other special classes. The other elementary school kids get 120 days of the 6 main specials. This inequality is not going unnoticed. Special classes aren't the only place where this is occurring. This is occurring with gifted services due to shared time with gifted intervention specialists. The schools with fewer students are receiving more time and attention. I've personally heard parents say they are concerned about the overcrowding at Cherokee and are moving their children out of the district, and I'm here to make you aware of this concern because the high-level view is not telling the whole story at Cherokee Elementary.
Thank you. Alex Argo?
My name is Alex Argo. Some of those papers should look familiar. So at the last district parent council meeting, challenges and successes were shared from different school buildings. There were 5 challenges mentioned specifically relating to students. One was Nerf wars at West High School. That's definitely a thing. If you need more info, I can send you a ring security video from my driveway, and my kids aren't even in high school. Heritage ECS, Freedom Elementary, and Rich Jr. all mentioned issues with class sizes and an influx of ELL students. Hopewell, which feeds East High School, said they were experiencing issues with class sizes as well. So Liz talked about some of the issues with shared spaces at Cherokee, and Alicia talked about issues with shared resources. These issues really need to be addressed and acknowledged. Let's be proactive and future ready. While we have heard that we need the fire code for our packed shared spaces at Cherokee Elementary, this does not mean that we should not strive to improve the learning environment for our students. We should make decisions about how to properly staff and use facilities based on the ideal educational experience, not just what is allowed by fire code. I encourage the board to consider redistricting as a potential solution. Redistricting costs the district nothing from a facility standpoint. While purchasing or renting portables does have a significant cost, and once the portables are gone, we have nothing to show for it. It is crucial to prioritize the educational equity and classroom sizes of our students over feeding directly into high schools and creating clean lines. I acknowledge that it took years to get clean district lines that directly fed to our respective high schools, but what's the cost of maintaining them? All ECS and elementary schools on the west side are so full that something has to give. I do know that Van Gordon, which is the closest elementary to Cherokee, has a few hundred preschoolers in it right now. Independence, which was built the same year as Cherokee and is the exact same building layout, also has almost 200 less students. Both of these schools are on the east side of the district, however. I gave you a copy of the master facility proposed timeline that was handed out last March or so, which should have culminated, or would have culminated with a bond issue on the ballot tomorrow. I also provided the actual timeline as what has been accomplished so far. As a community, we have the responsibility to ensure that every student has access to a high-quality education in an environment that is conducive to learning. In lieu of progress on the master facilities plan, I would ask the board to provide or work towards an updated 1-year timeline of what they hope to accomplish at the next facilities meeting, and provide regular 2 or 3 times a year reporting of the staffing and capacity of each building, including the number of sections. Thanks for your time and attention, and since I have a little bit of time left, I wanted to say congratulations to Mr. Zink on the newest addition to his family.
Thank you, Mr. Holman. That's worth applauding. New son. Go ahead. And he's still with us tonight. So. Jenna Wells.
My name is Jenna Wells, and I'm a mom of 4 boys in the district and quite active within my kids' PTO and PTSOs. I am also a DPC rep and one of the founding parents of Lakota Cares, which stands for Champion Abilities, Relationships, Equity, and Strengths. Our vision is to learn and work together to foster a community of belonging, connect families, share resources, build bridges, and support aspirations of children and students with disabilities or learning differences. We are here to partner with the district, administration, teachers, aides, and all other staff to create a culture of belonging for all students. I want to focus on the word culture today. First, what is culture? Culture has about 9 different definitions according to Merriam-Webster Dictionary. For the purpose of today, I'm going to use the definition that states culture is the set of shared attitudes, values, goals, and practices that characterizes an institution or organization. What is Lakota's culture when we're considering the community in which Lakota Cares serves? This is a big question, one that I cannot answer. There are subcultures within our community too. They can be different from classroom to classroom, building to building, administration to administration. But ultimately, culture is created from top down. The culture of Lakota working with the CARES community is learned through the actions, attitudes, discussions, openness, values, and goals of the leaders.
good towards students that may need extra supports or may need to be taught in unique ways shapes the way these students feel successful, like how they belong, shapes the way these students build their confidence to live their best lives. One can argue that culture is not only important for the CARES community, but for every single child within the district. I would like to ask the Lakota Board to reflect and start conversations about the culture that it holds for the CARES community. These conversations can be complicated and messy and beautiful all at the same time. We cannot grow together and create a culture of belonging for all if these discussions never happen. I would ask that you involve families, administration, and Lakota staff so we can create a culture where every child can learn and grow and reach their individual potential and goals. Thank you for allowing me to talk today. As always, feel free to reach out to the Lakota CARES Board. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Benjamin McCall?
Evening, everyone. Benjamin McCall, live in the district. Tomorrow is a special election. And as a result of the special election, there's a number of other school districts in Butler County that are facing ballot issues. And that got me thinking about what I always typically talk about as the master facilities plan. Because my kids are in the district, they will be going in the district, they will be surviving in the district, and they'll be seeing the results of what's happening within the district, especially with the facilities. So I know the facilities plan was talked about last in March, and we're gonna have another meeting, so I'm very eager to hear any updates from that. And from the last meeting, there was the topography and, hey, what can be done, and discussing from that. So families within the district will be affected, and I understand the reasons for ups and downs of wanting to move forward with that or not, but I think in proper preparation, it's duty to the district, duty of the board, and duty of every family within the district to find out more and be actively a part of that, as they were leading up to the decision on the way the setup was. Because the special election is tomorrow, within Butler County, Edgewood, Northwest, and Ross are all facing ballot issues as a result of lack of planning, lack of disagreement, lack of collaboration, and not wanting to pay money. That now they're facing a lot of issues, which is affecting property values, which is affecting the community in which they live. And we are fortunate enough not necessarily to have the financial issues, which is a great thing. However, we could if there's not enough collaboration and discussion around it in the way that we need to have it. So knowing those things are happening, a number of other districts, Hamilton, Warren, are all facing ballot issues in school districts where they're having deficits, they're losing money, they have lack of money, and people don't want to put money in. We do not have that fiscal issue. However, we potentially can if anyone in this room or any of the board does not continue to have the discussions on proper preparation, even though right now may not be a good time. It's not going to happen overnight, it's not going to happen tomorrow. Speaking of dollars and thinking about that, I know with the 5-year forecast, there's a lot of lines on the budget for costs going out. And one of those costs going out is due to legal issues from community to the school district. It's multiplied this past year than any other time in history. If we're talking about money, we're frustrated about, hey, how much is it going to cost around new schools, new facilities? But we're not talking about we're spending more money in legal issues that people are benefiting from, and some people who argue about all this stuff, more lawyers are making more money than that. That's an issue to me. So if we're going to put money towards any area, we should be focusing on the district. We should be focusing on here, because it doesn't just affect the district and the people who go into it. It affects private, home schools, because where does busing come from private schools? All those things. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ronald Elward?
Thank you, Madam President. Last time I came to this meeting, I gave a report.
Say your name, please.
I just said my name. If you interrupt, could you give me some more time, please?
Sir, you did not say your name.
Ronald Taylor. The last time I came to this meeting, I gave a report card on administration and the board. I gave administration an A and urged that we continue to keep Rob as the superintendent and our treasurer. I gave the board an F. Now I have 7 questions to ask the board, and they can grade themselves on it. What is the board doing to deal with Title IX edicts, men and women's sports? Has the board filed any objections to the new rules over the past 2 years, as they had an opportunity to do, perhaps even longer? Number 2, an award-winning financial staff worked hard on a 5-year financial plan. Why are you spending most of the upcoming meeting tonight on spotlights? 2 gentlemen prior to me pointed out, and at the last meeting and at this meeting, there's money available from the state for facilities improvement, and it could be running out. Where in the heck is our facilities plan? This isn't even on tonight's agenda. Why not? Cybersecurity is failing the U.S. government, Microsoft, Google, and Apple. We are spending time at meetings taking PR pictures. Do you think you need to change your priorities? Are all of your personal digital devices that you use to access Lakota information protected from these intrusions in pornography and other internet risks? They haven't been, as evidenced by previous meetings. We have a large administrative staff of highly trained educators who is or are, highly trained educators. Someone on this board is usurping their duties, and it's not helping the district. It is time for the board to get back to serving our children during these difficult times, when national and state leadership seems to be failing. The Ohio State Board of Education is a royal joke. It's sad. How much time did you all spend preparing for tonight's meeting? Reviewing the 5-year financial plan prepared by your finance department, which got 2 awards in the last 2 meetings. And the report that I looked at, I can't read it all, but it's well done, and we've got a place to go. But I haven't heard motions in these meetings. I call them coffee clatches, because you talk, but you never make motions. I look at Hamilton, they make motions, and then they talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Elmer. Dana Richardson.
Hi, I'm Dana Richardson. I wanted to take a minute to acknowledge that it's May, and parents here, all parents here, are collectively taking a deep breath before the breakneck pace of the next few weeks. School carnivals, field days, award ceremonies, concerts, games, and encouraging our kids to stick with their academics just a little bit longer. It's been great seeing all the kids be proud of their accomplishments, be it academic, activity-based, or reaching their personal goals. I'm sure the staff is taking a collective deep breath too as they go through this final push, and I hope they recognize how grateful we are for the support of our kids throughout the school year. As a board, you've had a lot to fare with this year as well, and I want to encourage you to stick with the most important things that I think this district needs right now. We need cohesive leadership from our board. We need to focus on decisions that are needed to support the continued growth, development, and future needs of our students, to meet our mission statement, and to continue to provide a great education and opportunities for all our students. So most importantly, I think, finding and interviewing quality candidates for our superintendent position, filling the other administrative positions that are open, such as the Director of Diversity and Inclusion and our Ombudsman position. Our district has become increasingly more diverse, and this position is important as that growth and diversity will be continuing. Having that resource available to staff will continue to be relevant and needed. I also want to encourage you to stick with the master facilities planning. As we've heard from several parents and other people here tonight, that is a top priority in this community. Every time we start moving forward on these important advancements. I feel like we're derailed with divisive and insignificant issues that do nothing but distract the board from its work and divide our community. This week, you guys have quite the marathon committee session, and I just ask you to consider how much time you're going to choose to spend on essentially what I see as a parent as a non-issue, a one unsubstantiated incident in the district of a student being inappropriate in a bathroom. Do we really need a policy and all this debate about that? Or is this just pressure and noise from outside of our district to distract us again from the true work that we need to be getting done in this district? We will hope to see work from this board that will bolster the confidence of our teachers and staff with providing quality, supportive leadership that's being recruited to the district. By moving forward in our master facilities plan, by recruiting and maintaining quality educators, supporting the needs of all our students, and not allowing fear or hate to hijack our meetings and continue to derail the important work of this board. Thank you.
Kate Bredesteggy?
Hello, my name is Kate Bredesteggy. Well, at this point, these are 8 pictures. If you could just please pass these down and just take a moment to look at some of these pictures of some of these kids. These are all children of varying ages, races, genders, a whole bunch of different kids here. I would like you to take a minute and pick out which 2 of those kids you think are trans kids. And if you don't think you can, then let me know. Every single one of those children is a trans child. Every single child in every one of those pictures. And these kids, they're what would qualify as passing. But are you going to sit here and tell me that we're going to have general inspections in front of every bathroom? Are we going to do 17,000 genetic tests for these kids? Are you going to tell me that the teenage boy is going to be safer going into the girls' restroom and not be verbally attacked or assaulted, appearing to be a teenage boy going into a women's restroom? Are you going to tell me it's safer for the girls to go into the boys' restroom? I can basically guarantee that at some point you have used the restroom with a trans person and probably didn't know it. These kids just want to pee. They want to fit in. They want to go to school. They want to see their friends. They want to make it through the day just like every other child in this district and have the freedom to be happy and healthy with the decisions that they and their parents have made with medical providers. You were also provided, to my understanding, a study by several community members that concluded that a woman has a 0.000, that is 426% chance, actually even lower if you divide trans men and women athletes, of losing a scholarship to play collegiate level sports to a transgender woman. So that argument is a complete non-starter. Not even a 1% chance, really. And personally, I would really rather stop having these buzzword-laden, fabricated issues taking center stage due to one person's obsessions instead of focusing on things like everyone else's discussion of the master facilities plan. I would love for us to move forward and work on things that actually matter to all of our kids, to all of our parents, and then all of these issues that come in from outside forces that are affecting our district how they are. That's all I have to say.
Jessica Williams? Jessica Williams? All right, it doesn't look like Mrs. Williams is with us tonight. That concludes our list of speakers. Thank you very much for the information. Questions will be addressed in the future that were asked. Thank you for the opinions that were shared.
I will feed you.